Welcome to the Healing Soul Podcast, empowering wellness and oneness. I'm Marybeth Rombach Nelson, a published author on Amazon Books, Reiki Master, gifted intuitive, and spiritual teacher. Today on the Healing Soul Podcast, I'll be talking about past life patterns. Do you ever feel like you make the same mistakes over and over again? This may be a lesson that you haven't learned from a past life. The good news is you can break these patterns and change your life with intention. You just need to stop and step out of the situation and become aware of what you're doing and reflect on it. And once you realize all the pain from this life and past lives, and you notice it and you observe it, you forgive yourself and others, you can change and create a positive new pattern to unfold in your life. And how you can do this is you can trade fear for grace. Let go of fear and release it. Give yourself unconditional love and be self-aware. Self-awareness is the number one thing, partnered with letting go of fear to change the negative patterns in your life. You can jump outside that hamster wheel and really just watch what makes you unhappy in your life and what are you doing again and again that needs to be changed. Now, I've given a lot of readings over the years, and I want to talk about some of the patterns that I've seen in the thousands of readings that I've done over the past 15 years. So there's a spectrum of things that cause disharmony in people's lives and frustration and ruin relationships and careers and it's a vast spectrum of behaviors from one extreme to the other. And really keeping your life in balance and letting go of the past karma that we hold on to from previous life is going to free us to move forward. So really paying attention to moderation and balance in all areas of your life so that you can be happier. So here's some of the spectrums that I've witnessed in my readings, what cause people trouble on either end of the spectrum. So having too much confidence, and then on the other end, not having enough confidence. Being self-destructive and, being your own worst enemy, moving one step forward and two steps back. Or being submissive, giving your personal power away so you don't have control over your own life, really leads to heartache and trouble. Being an overachiever, working all the time that you don't have work and family life balance and wanting more and more and more. And then on the other end, being lazy and not achieving and using your talents to their fullest extent, just kind of getting by, and then not being happy with that. Or being a high risk taker, putting all your money in gambling or, ruining your finances. And then on the other end is someone that's super tight, that plays it too safe, that isn't happy either because they don't have the things that they want and they don't go on vacations. Being overly determined to a fault, to sleep deprivation, or being too sedentary, being too materialistic, wanting more cars, a bigger house, that doesn't really make you happy. And then on the other spectrum is somebody that would give you the shirt off their back that doesn't keep anything for themselves. Then you've got the negative person that is, you can give them something and they'll cut it down. And then on the other end, you have a positive person that's always building others up. Being reserved or being super outgoing. Being independent or codependent. Being the manipulator in a relationship or being subservient in the relationship. Neither is good. So there's, abuse, and then there's the person that's the prey, and these certain personality characteristics and experiences carry on from life after life after life. And sometimes we're one or the other, and sometimes we repeat again and again and again. And you got to ask yourself, are you punishing yourself for a past life that needs compassion and forgiveness? So you really need to self-reflect and be aware of what you're doing if you are unhappy, and ask yourself these questions. And why are you driven to do something that's out of character for you, but yet you have this compulsion to do it? This could definitely be carried over from a past life. Do you have a fear and you don't know why you have it and where it came from, like irrational fear of water? You may have drowned in a previous life. I know people that have fears that they don't know where they came from, but yet it's very physically, emotionally, and spiritually with them in this lifetime. And are you feeling something in your body, like a stomach pain that you've been checked out and there's no cause for? I mean, people have been shot in a previous lifetime and they remember it in a past life regression, and that's where they have their stomach pain. It really is astonishing, a lot of the breakthroughs that have come about in therapy and regression sessions. So the above patterns that I just mentioned can make our relationships and life in general difficult. And it can even ruin relationships if we do something out of character and have an affair or gamble all our money away and ruin our finances. And you're not normally like that. And you ask yourself, what made you do that? And you really can't answer that question. Or another person, she's gotten an abusive relationship after abuse and hasn't learned that lesson. So she keeps repeating it and not having enough self-esteem to expect that you deserve love and to be treated better. And some clients have been in abusive relationships their whole life, even when they change relationships, and they want desperately to be happy and they don't know how. And others have worked so many hours and made a great deal of money, but they're empty and they don't know why they're not happy. Again, it's that balance in life and moderation. And the person that works and is a workaholic that wants to achieve so much may have been poor at a previous lifetime, and they're afraid of not having enough food or not having enough money, but it costs their relationships this time around in their lives. So they don't have that balance of having enough emotional connection in their relationships because they're always gone. There's so many complex issues from past life patterns that come through in this life, and self-evaluation can really, you can make a list of things you do that you're not happy with yourself and how you can go about changing them. And changing behavior takes 21 days, and you think you can do anything for 21 days. And once you've changed your behavior in those 21 days, it becomes a new pattern for you. And you can journal and mark off the days of, 21 days to 30 days. You'll have changed your behavior. At the very least, you'll be aware of what you're doing and you can figure out why. So stopping every day and just like I said, becoming aware and journaling regularly can improve your life because you're reflecting on bringing about a change that's needed. So you can take little breaks to break these patterns of negative behavior and past life patterns that have seeped into this lifetime. And the number one thing is to let go of fear and to be able to change. The second thing is self-love, self-awareness, and forgiving ourselves is so important so that we're not punishing ourselves by sabotaging our own lives by risky behavior. And healing old soul wounds that we've carried over into this lifetime. And when we do that, healing soul wounds and forgiving ourselves and having compassion, we heal those wounds from the previous lives. It's like healing your very soul. So I wrote an affirmation today for healing past life wounds and negative patterns. So here's my affirmation. I release all past life fears now. They're floating in the earth and are being absorbed by Mother Earth. All past tragedies that I previously lived through, I let go of right now. I release the pain. I release the pain from my past lives right now. I have unconditional love for myself, and I know I am worthy always of love. I create positive changes in my life starting today with ease. I have grace. I have peace. I have compassion for myself. I am an empowered soul and really believe that you are worthy of unconditional love and you are whole as you are right now. Now if you're able to do this past life meditation with me, and if not, come back to this recording and do it when you can sit in a chair quietly. I want you to breathe deeply and exhale loudly 3 times. This relaxes you. That's what I mean by exhaling loudly. Let all that stress leave your body. I want you to feel your head relax. I want you to feel calm and peace. I want you to feel your neck loosening up and relaxing now. And now we're going to move to your shoulders, and they drop, and all the stress just drops away from them, and they relax. Your arms go from tense to being completely relaxed in your chair. Moving to your chest and stomach, you feel a warmth and relaxing peace wash over you. Now moving to your hips, they loosen up, they shift, and they relax. Your thigh muscles loosen, and you sink deeper in your chair, and you relax, and you feel the warmth move down your legs to your knees, letting go of any stress, any tightness. It drops away from you. Feeling the warmth move to your calves, to your ankles, letting go of any pain in your feet and releasing it into Mother Earth and grounding yourself now. You feel peace, you feel love, you feel warmth wash over your entire body. Unconditional love is with you now. You feel safe, and you're able to glimpse at a past life that's giving your present life challenges. You walk down a beautiful path leading to a cave that is open on both ends. You enter, walking through to the other side. When you arrive at the other end of the cave at the opening, you're stepping into a past life. You're stepping forward now into the past life. What do you see? What type of buildings or homes do you see? If you had to guess, what era do you think you're in? And if you see people, what kind of clothes or outfits do they have on? And do you see yourself? If you do see yourself, what do you look like? What color hair do you have? Are you light-skinned? Are you dark-skinned? What's your complexion? Are you tall? Are you short? Just observe yourself in this past life. Now I want you to notice, are there any feelings or emotional pain that comes from looking at the scene and seeing yourself in this past life? If yes, what is it? I want you to remember what pain or emotional distress you're feeling when you look at yourself in this past life. Just sit in this moment and observe yourself. Send yourself love and patiently and peacefully watch your past life. And when you have observed enough, I want you to remember and walk back through the open cave to the other side, returning to your present life when you step through the cave. You're stepping through now back into your present time. I want you to open your eyes and journal what you've experienced. Does anything really stand out to you that you saw or you felt emotionally? Did you see yourself doing the same thing that you're still doing, and did this shock you? And you get different results every time you do this meditation, but if you do it regularly, you do get visions and messages that help your life, and journal and date them. And the more detail, the better, which can help you. And I've done this a number of times and seen several of my past lives. And one that I observed from a past life, I witnessed myself in an abusive relationship. I was in Jerusalem, and I saw a stone house with dirt floors, and I had like 6 or 7 kids running around, and my husband was yelling at me and cutting me down, and I didn't realize that I deserved as much love as I was giving. I was giving my personal power away to him, and I wasn't happy, and I wasn't being treated right, and I was miserable. So my lesson from this past life was to have self-love and realize that I am worthy of being loved unconditionally. And there's so many things that we can repeat and bring over in this lifetime. And by observing these past lives, we can give ourselves the love and compassion that we need to get unstuck and be able to move forward and quit the pattern and get off the hamster wheel. So it can really be life-changing to realize that you're stuck in a pattern of behavior, like I said. But the great news is with awareness, you can change, be determined for three weeks to do something differently, and it will become a life pattern for you. And sometimes when you view a past life, you just get a real quick glimpse of the life, but it still can be profound in how you feel and the changes that come about. Another time I saw myself in Ireland. I saw a stone cottage with flowers all around it, with elementals in the grass, shimmering in the grass and sitting on plants. And elementals are like fairies and little sprites that were all around. They were magical and they were shimmering, kind of like fireflies in the grass and on the plants. And it was just gave me such a feeling of happiness. I saw rolling green hills, and there were little goats on the hill eating grass, and that made me happy too. And I was at peace, and it was a happy life, and it was simple. And I had long black hair and a fair complexion, and I was very tall. And I saw myself baking bread, and it was a black kettle stove that you had to put wood in. And I was just so at peace and so happy. And it was the message of life. Life can be simple and joyful at the same time. We really don't need that much to be happy. So really knowing yourself and your behavior allows you to make any needed changes that you need in your life. And you really need to stop and be an observer. And that way you can stop destructive patterns from taking over and ruining this lifetime too. And God forbid you come back and repeat it again. So be the observer, be self-aware, give yourself compassion and self-love, and take the time to reflect on your life. And you really can change any situation if you let go of fear and open to all the possibilities. Also look at what aggravates you on a daily basis. Is there something that triggers you that really pisses you off and you don't know why? And reflect on that. And changes, you can go to therapy if you need to and talk to someone about it. You can do meditation, do daily exercise to relieve stress, and journaling is very therapeutic for me. And the most important, of course, is to have self-love, knowing that you're whole and complete just as you are this very moment. And here's a quote that I really like from Albert Einstein. The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Albert Einstein. We're eternal beings that live forever, and our souls remember all experiences that we've lived through. It's pretty cool that we can meditate and time travel back to a past life and learn lessons that can change this life. It's very powerful healing that can take place now for us. Letting go of all the fear and being open to change, having self-confidence and being courageous to make the changes that we need to make in this lifetime. Knowing that we can't change the other person, we can only change ourselves is a huge lesson. And sometimes we outgrow a relationship or a friend or a job, and you know what? That's perfectly okay. Don't have guilt and shame over ending a relationship. And don't blame, just move on and let it go. And poof, it's gone. Move forward in wisdom and grace, knowing what is perfect and right for you, and do it. So it's just powerful to embrace what's right for you with no shame, no blame, and let it go. So step out of your circumstances and observe them. And then that will give you clarity to make those changes, like I said. And it gives you a clear intention. And here's a quote from Rumi that I love. "Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder." Rumi. So projecting positive things that you want to come into your life and writing a list of all the positive things that you want to work and strive for your soul goals. And day by day you can achieve them. But propelling yourself in a positive, loving, compassionate light will change your life on a daily basis. And it really embraces the empowered soul that you are. Today's intuitive oracle card from my Intuitive Heart Oracle is reflect on your life. Do you need to make changes? Are you happy? Journal your feelings right now, and you may be surprised what comes up for you. Be honest and loving with yourself. Reflect on your life. I want to thank you for listening today. And all the content in this podcast may not be reproduced and is under copyright. And also, if you enjoyed today's podcast, I'd really appreciate a 5-star rating. On the next Healing Soul podcast, I'll be talking about messages and signs from crossed over loved ones and ways to communicate with them. God loves you, and so do I. The Healing Soul, empowering wellness and oneness.